Let me tell you a little bit of something about the course shell that you just uploaded. So this is my online course shell for Bio 113. The plan is right now there is a teacher guide that you're supposed to keep hidden right there. The plan is to put an instructor guide here that is also going to be kept hidden, where we're going to put instructions, things like this video, right? That will help an instructor be able to work with this. The first couple of things on the top are required. So you've got these two are hidden. Um, this one is required on the from the it just comes with your course. So I believe does BrainFuse, so does the Start Here. So if you're importing this into a course shell that exists, you will probably have duplicates of this Keep Hidden, and probably this one, and probably this one. Um, Keep track of the old ones. You may want to log into your course first and mark them somehow, like, name them something else. You can rename them easily by clicking on here with the left saying edit and then, putting on there. So if you say edit, you can then change these, right? And you can say this is the original. Like, for example, what I did here, I said this is the original unchanged. Um, because some of these folders you're going to make changes in. This one is one of those. So this folder contains, among other things, and I marked the things that I changed with a Spring and a Bio 113. So those are the things that require changes. The others do not. So these are, like I said, all of these come in just normally with the shell. Then you have a bunch of different modules. They're numbered in the way that I taught them last time. These modules change from semester to semester. So, for example, your plant diversity is going to be relatively late in the spring, relatively early in the fall. And if you're teaching it online, if I teach it online, it comes relatively in the middle, because that's about where I teach the 112. If I teach it online, if I teach them in parallel, so if I don't teach them in parallel, if I teach just a 113 online, and there's not a 112 associated with it that I teach it in whatever sequence the face-to-face sequence is. Um, that's the easiest that way. And if I teach a Bio 112 and a Bio 113, like this summer, for example, I'm teaching an online Bio 112 and I'm teaching an online Bio 113. For the same time frame, so I'm assuming some of the same students are in there. So in that moment, I then try to match them with each other as best as I can. So this one is coming from one that was an online one, because this is my online one. And so there's the modules. There's the midterm, and then there's the final. There is not, I believe, a water module. The water module, we don't teach it every semester. I think we teach it in the spring, because the spring semester is just a hair longer. I don't think we usually teach it in the fall, and I usually skip it when I teach it online. I also skip it when I have short semesters. When I have short semesters, like if I do a 6 week, then I double them up, right? And that usually works out. If you've got an 8 week, you just pull them apart. Some of the ones that take a little longer, the animal diversity fetal pig, those go together, but they can also be separated out, right? Um, But then if you're putting simple diversity, diversity of simple organisms with those, that's a lot. So just be conscientious about, what all you're sticking into one section. Um, so that's the big picture, and what the rest of this looks like. And then individually, when you look at each one of them is structured exactly the same way. So each folder, and you move the folders around, right? You can just edit them and just drag them up and down, just like you can anything else. But each folder is structured exactly the same way. There's a module overview. There's a section that's to know. There's a section that's to see, and then there's the section to do. Um, and when you click on that, it opens up the rest of the things. And so what you see in there, that's all the assignments. The assignments are right in there. Um, so I'm going to, all right, back to this. Okay, so when you open this up, you see all these things, right? And all the assignments are in here. This is helpful if you want to make sure that they're all hidden at the same time. So having the assignments all at the same time allows you to hide them all and make them all visible at the same time. But when you look at each of these individually, um, so there is the general overview for how, and this is part of that whole keys thing that students are supposed to know what they're talking about, right? So there's a general overview about why this matters. Um, Scientific method explains. Then this is a walkthrough that I create. You don't need that. You can basically just delete those. Or you can create your own walkthrough, right? Explaining what it is you do. It's not a requirement. So like I said, you can just delete those, but I put them in there for I think most of them, if not all of them. Similarly, this is not a requirement. I just put that in there. And the summary and activities, that's a requirement, but like I said, this one's not. um, then the next part is the to know, and this one here, the way I do this is I have all of my lab handouts come from because especially if I have multiple sections, this is very helpful to do it that way. um, I have all the lab handouts in a lab handout folder. Um, right now, you have access to this folder, I believe, only as a reader. So you need to link this to your own folder, right? So you need to make sure that you have wherever it is that you keep your stuff, that you're going to put your link there. Now, the way you're going to do that, you're just going to go right click on here, say edit, and when you highlight this, then you can take the link here and you can put whatever link there to whatever folder. And I recommend a folder. Recommend linking to a folder so you can put all the documents that you need inside of that folder. So that's what's happened here. So what I have here, this links to a folder, and it's the folder inside of class materials termites, and then the other things are inside of there that the students find, and they get used to that structure. You obviously do it any way you want to, right? um, then here is a lecture video. Again, this is not required. You can delete that or create your own right there. The PowerPoint is found in the same, that link goes to the same folder. It's all the same folder. And so that way it's like repeats the same link over and over again. This is optional, not required, but it's something that I have mine do. So change this link here and update whatever lecture you want to do, or just simply delete it. Demonstrations, I use the demonstrations. The use demonstrations to basically talk about the lab part, right? The parts that are important for the lab. This is how the lab goes together. This is how all these things play together. And so in some labs that's more important than others. Um, but that's what I use that for. Um, and then comes the assignment section. Now, each assignment section, this is just a folder where all these other things are in, but each assignment section starts with a section that links them back to where the lab handouts are. And again, like I said, this is the same link every time. Um, and then it gives them a list of this is the stuff that I want you to do. Um, and then after this, they get to all of the things that they're supposed to do. So, and if you look at this as the student, then you just right click with the arrow to the next one. So there's always a lecture quiz, which quizzes them on the assignments related to the lecture. There's a handout question set, which is basically my version of Larry's lab handout. And then there is, you're going to have to update these. I don't know if you're going to have to update the whole Labster thing. That sort of depends, but you'll see which ones I have in there. I think they come over. Um, and then sometimes I have optional materials. Let me click on that real quick. Sometimes if I want them to, just play with something or something that I thought was interesting, I share that with them. Um, and that's basically it. So that's what each of these look like. And each of them, like I said, each of them have basically the same structure. You've got the overview, the to know, to see, to do, and then sometimes optional. In the to know, to see, to do, like for example, in simple microscopy, under the demonstrations, um, there is more than some of the others. So, there's videos I found talking about a microscope. I also take the students a lot to my Bio 113 page, where there are a lot of demonstrations and lots of links. I hate mnemonic devices, but lots of links, lots of things that I do, lots of whatever interactive things. And that's about it. So with you uploading that page, you should have access to all of these things. Uh, and like I said, oh, what you have to create new is the midterms and the final, right? Because the midterms, this midterm relates only to the midterm, like the 1 through 6 as they are here. So you're going to have to recreate the final depending on what your order is of events. The other thing is, hang on, what's the other thing? Do we have discussions on here? No, there's not a discussion on here. I think that's it. And of course, you have to update the dates, right? I don't know what dates, I don't remember what dates I have on there. These may just be the dates from the spring semester. Um, in terms of how to upload this shell, you're simply doing it. You click on these three, when you're in your course that you want it in, you click on these three right buttons and you say import content. And then you go to wherever the heck that course package is that you downloaded and you import it from there. And that ought to do it. So try that. Let me know if you run into any problems, but that should get you there.